nails the baby hook. Griffin's got the first points up on the board here in the second quarter for the Clippers. Spencer Hawes, an early candidate last season for most improved player, but his hot shooting steadily tailed off, Steve, with the Sixers last year.
Yeah, month after month, his field goal percentage and three-point percentage has dropped. But I thought he found new life when he was traded to the Cavs. Remember, when you're on a bad team, you're losing night after night. It can be disheartening. I think that might have been some of what we saw with Hawes and his numbers declining.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So for the Clippers right now, CP3 at point with Redick there at the backcourt. Griffin at the 4 with Hawes at the 5. And it's Crawford at the 3 spot. And some changes here for the Warriors. Lee's checked in for Spates. Thompson comes in for Nick Young. And it's Iguodala in for Steph Curry. DeAndre Jordan's checked in for Los Angeles. And we're about a minute into the second quarter of play. And it's good. And the Clippers lead by 6.
And Hall's a free agent this offseason. Playing well over the last 3 seasons, he was a safe bet to get a nice new contract. Big guys with his skill level, they get paid in this league.
Now here's Iguodala. He had a 15-point outing in their last game against the Trailblazers in Portland. And here's Green outside. No good. And the Clippers will come the other way. They put up a nice win against Utah last time out.
And I thought, guys, they were the beneficiary of what was some lackluster defense being played against them.
I agree with you. I mean, it was really shocking how many free runs to the hoop they got.
Then for Hawes, a rare skill set. Not that many 7-footers who can shoot from three-point range the way he can. And as much as teams value threes nowadays, not surprising he commanded a nice payday in free agency.
Now here's Redick. There's Crawford with the 3, and Lee pulls it down. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've had a number of empty ones, a long time without a basket.
They got to find something, you're right. From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Thank you, Kevin. Doc Rivers trying to help this Clippers team to the mountaintop. And Chris Paul said, I've never had a coach that wants to win as bad as I do, until Rivers. Rivers said, I'm just here to try to win. I always tell our players there's no guarantee to it. You have to be willing to get your hearts broken. Gentlemen.
He's getting him to lay it all on the line. Doris, thank you. Clippers leading by 4. Redick with it. Boy, he was something else against Utah. Griffin sets the screen for Paul. Crawford, no one around him. Buries it from three-point range. Crawford's got 6 points.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
Bogut, that's good.
The easiest way to do it sometimes is with the bounce pass.
Second quarter of play with almost 3 minutes gone.
Well, it's been 4 years now since the new ownership group took over in Golden State, and I think they've got to be proud of how they've turned this organization around in a short time. 2 straight trips to the playoffs. That actually equaled their total over the previous 20 seasons.
Here's Green after the basket by Los Angeles. From the arc. And Thompson kicks to Green. This one for 3. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. Jordan's got 4 rebounds in this game. Redick with it, picked up by Thompson. Griffin against Lee. Fades away. The shot is off. The Warriors go the other way with it. They can look forward to the Rockets Arena after this matchup to take on Houston. And that'll be the first of a 2-game road trip for them.
And no doubt the Houston fans really want to see their Rockets take that one. That's a good matchup there.
Los Angeles making a switch here. Farmar's checked in. Clippers leading by 7. Over in the corner, Paul. Into Jordan. Here's Griffin. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. 1 free throw coming his way.
This is what forcing their way inside, just bulldozing themselves into the paint area, and they're having a lot of success. Well, I liked what I saw from Blake Griffin, showing more assertiveness offensively, especially when Chris Paul was missing time with the separated shoulder. Blake averaged over 24 points a game last year. That was a career high.
Now a timeout called by Golden State.
And Griffin showing more and more comfort with his jump shot. Doc Rivers wants him facing up to exploit his ball handling and quickness. And tell you what, when he's making that outside shot, he becomes basically unguardable.
Now here's Iguodala. He's got 6. On the wing, Thompson. Back to Iguodala. Golden State moving it around. Down to 5 on the shot clock. And again, no good by Golden State. And for Griffin last season, over 70%. Clark from the free throw line for the first time in his career.
Love seeing that kind of improvement. It points out how diligently he worked to refine and improve that free throw shooting.
1:44 left to play here in the second quarter. Now here's Iguodala. He's covered closely. Can't hit from in close.
You know, he just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at it.
Now here's Crawford. Last time out he had 13 points.
Checking out the game Jamal Crawford is having. He has 8 points, and he's picked up 6 points from behind the arc.
His outside stroke has looked really good today.
Well, Jamal Crawford has proven that no matter what role he plays, just call him buckets. He can flat out put the ball in the basket. You got to give him a lot of credit, though. He does change his game quite a bit depending on if he's coming off the bench or starting. I think that speaks to his IQ.
Looking at who's out there now for the Warriors. Spates checked in for Lee. Young comes in for Green. And Curry subbed in for Andre Iguodala.
Well, they played terrific basketball at both ends, and that's why this lead is totally out of control.
Really been an almost flawless game for him, Steve. No doubt about it.
I look back to last season and the year Stephen Curry had. 6th in assists, 6th in free throw percentage. And, of course, he was among the best in the league when it came to putting the ball in the basket, in the top 10 in points per game.
Steve, you think about all of the assists he racked up to get into that top 10. You know, he's a guy who always played with his head up, and he was a willing passer who was looking to make the pass at all times.
And as you said with Jamal, a lot of players can't really make that change between being a starter or a sub, but he does it so smoothly in such short time. It really adds a lot of utility to this team.
Farmar kicks to Crawford. Feeds to Farmar. Passes it to Barnes. Davis, the pass to Barnes. And Ezeli with the block. And they'll keep possession. Farmar kicks to Barnes. Pass to Hawes. That's in there. Davis with the assist. Hawes got his first 2 points of the night.
Well, we've seen that more than a few times. An easy bucket in the lane.
Yeah, the interior defense simply has been lifeless.
Thompson misses.
You've got to give them a lot of credit for the job they've done on the backboards.
Well, they've done a lot of things right, but I agree with you, Clark. Their rebounding is right there at the top of the list.
Hawes dishes to Crawford. Barnes up top. That shot's good from Hawes. Hawes got his second bucket of the game to go.
They have repeatedly probed inside in the first half, guys, and it's paid dividends.
Yeah, it sure has, Clark. I mean, with as many points as they've gotten in the paint, they really haven't had to do much on the perimeter.
And so we wrap up the first half. Clippers ahead. They lead by 14. And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Hey, Kevin, I'm here with Blake Griffin. And Blake, what's been the key tonight on how this first half has turned out for you guys?
We just have a lot of different pieces, a lot of veteran pieces, a lot of skill pieces, and they're coming all together right now, and it makes it a lot easier for us.
Thanks for your time, Blake. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you, and stay with us, folks. We'll be back just after halftime to get the third quarter underway. We're getting back to the action now. It's been a one-team show so far. We'll see if that changes here in the third.
Some really terrific numbers for Young. He's got 14 points, and he's done a little bit of work behind the arc. He's got a pair of three-pointers.
Well, the defenders have that in the back of their minds now, too, so they're going to close out on him quicker. That should allow him to use the drive if he wants.
And as we welcome you back, we begin our second half. So far, not a tightly contested game, guys, but, you know, anything can happen. One of the great stories here, Nick Young getting it done today.
He is a dynamic scorer, guys. That much we know. And I'll tell you what, his talent was on full display there in the first half.
Steve, he is a hard man to keep down, and so far, they've been unable to do it.
Thompson is out there with Iguodala. Then there's Stephen Curry. Then there's Nick Young. And it's Ezeli in at the 5. So that's the group out there for Golden State.
Well, Chris Paul breaking Magic Johnson's record last season with 13 double-doubles to start the season. That's points and assists we're talking about. You know, anytime you're mentioned in the same breath as a Hall of Famer, that's a pretty good thing.
And here is Los Angeles now, following the score by Golden State. Offensive rebound, Jordan. No good with the layup.
3 straight misses here to start the second half.
Pass to Ezeli. No one near him. The putback, and it's slammed in by Young.
He was a man on a mission down there. He wouldn't stop pursuing the ball until he got it up and